凉歌制作《死水》，作者闻一多。死水，这是一沟绝望的死水，清风吹不起半点衣轮，不如多扔些破铜烂铁，爽性泼你的剩菜残羹。也许铜的要滤成翡翠，铁罐上绣出几瓣桃花。
Production by Liang Gu, author of Dead Water, Yiduo. Still water. This is a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. The breeze cannot blow any ripples. It's better to throw away more junk metal. Just throw in your leftovers. Maybe the copper will turn green into emerald. A few peach blossoms rusted out on the tin can.
再让油腻之一层裸起，霉菌给它蒸出些云霞，让死水叫成一沟绿酒，飘满了珍珠似的白沫。小猪们笑声变成大猪，又被偷酒的花纹咬破。那么一沟绝望的死水，也就夸得上几分鲜明。
Let the grease weave a layer of luachi again. The mold steamed up some clouds for him. Let the dead water ferment into a ditch of green wine, full of pearl-like white foam. The laughter of the small beads turned into big beads. He was bitten by a mosquito that stole wine. Such a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. It can be said to be somewhat vivid.
如果青蛙耐不住寂寞，又算死水叫出了歌声。这是一沟绝望的死水，这里断不是美的所在，不如让给丑恶来开垦，看他造出个什么世界。春光，静得像入定了的一般，那天竺。
If the frog can't stand the loneliness. The stagnant water sang again. This is a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. This is by no means a place of beauty. It's better to let ugliness take over the cultivation. Look what kind of world he creates. Spring. It was as quiet as being in trance, that day the bamboo.
那天竹上密叶遮不住的珊瑚，那碧桃在朝吞里运气的麻雀，春光从一张张的绿叶上爬过，蓦地一道阳光晃过我的眼前，我眼睛里飞出了万只的金箭，我耳边又谣传着翅膀的魔声。
That day, the dense leaves on the bamboo could not cover the coral. That green peach, the lucky sparrow in Chowtuan. The spring light crawled over the green leaves. Suddenly a ray of sunlight flashed across my eyes. Thousands of golden arrows flew out of my eyes. The sound of wings rubbing came to my ears again.
仿佛有一群天使在空中螺旋，忽的深巷里蹦出了一声青睐。可怜可怜我这瞎子老爷太太。黄昏，黄昏是一头驰奔的黑牛，一步一步地走下了西山。不许把城门关锁得太早。
It seems like there are a group of angels patrolling in the sky. Suddenly, a clear sound burst out from the deep alley. Have mercy on me, the blind man, sir and madam. Dusk. Dusk is a slow and stupid black cow, walking down the western mountain step by step. Don't close the city gate too early.
总要等黑牛走进了城圈。黄昏是一头神秘的黑牛，不知他是那一界的神仙。天天月亮要送他到城里，一早太阳又牵上了西山。我要回来，我要回来。城里的拳头像兰花未放。
You have to wait until the black bull enters the city circle. Dusk is a mysterious black cow. I wonder which realm he is a god. Every day the moon wants to send him to the city. Early in the morning the sun set over the western mountains again. I want to come back. I want to come back. Take advantage of your fist like an orchid before it blooms.
乘你的柔发和柔丝一样，乘你的眼睛里燃着灵光。我要回来，我没回来。 乘你的脚步向风中荡桨，乘你的心灵像赤蝇打疮，乘你笑声里有银的铃铛。我没回来，我该回来。
Let your hair be as soft as silk, with your eyes burning with spiritual light. I want to come back. I didn't come back. Take your steps like an oar in the wind. When your mind is like a fly hitting the window, take advantage of the silver bells in your laughter. I didn't come back. I should come back.
乘你的眼睛里一阵昏迷，乘一口阴风把残灯吹熄，乘一只冷手来夺走了你。我该回来，我回来了。乘流萤打着灯笼照着你，乘你的耳边背提着杀机，乘你睡着了含一口沙泥。我回来了，夜歌。
When your eyes are in a coma, take a breath of cold wind to blow out the remaining lamp. A cold hand came and snatched you away. It's time for me to come back. I'm back. The flying fireflies are lighting up their lanterns to shine on you. When the sad partridge cries in your ears. When you fall asleep, take a mouthful of sand and mud. I'm back. Night Song.
癞蛤蟆抽了一个寒箭，黄土堆里钻出个妇人，妇人身旁找不出阴影，月色却是如此的分明。黄土堆里钻出个妇人，黄土堆上并没有裂痕，也不曾惊动一条蚯蚓，或崩断一根网绳。
The toad shuddered. A woman emerged from the loess pile. There was no shadow beside the woman. The moonlight is so clear. A woman emerged from the loess pile. There are no cracks on the loess pile. Not even an earthworm was disturbed. Or break a net rope.
月光底下坐着个妇人，妇人的容貌好似青春，猩红山紫血样的狰狞，蓬松的散发披了一身。妇人在号啕捶着胸心，癞蛤蟆只是打着寒箭。远村的荒鸡哇的一声，黄土堆上不见了妇人，心跳。
There was a woman sitting under the moonlight. The woman's appearance is like youth. The scarlet shirt is bloody and ferocious. The loose hair is draped all over the body. The woman was pounding her chest and heart in Yiduo. The toad was just chilling. The wild chicken in the distant village screamed. The woman was missing from the pile of loess. Heartbeat.
这灯光漂白了的四壁，这贤良的桌椅，朋友似的亲密，这古书的纸香一阵阵的袭来，要好的茶杯真女一般的洁白，受补的小儿煞瞎在母亲怀里，鼾声报道我大儿康健的消息。
This light, these light-bleached walls. This virtuous table and chair are as close as friends. The paper fragrance of this ancient book hits me in waves. The best teacup is as white as a virgin. The suckling child cries in his mother's arms. Snoring reports the news of my eldest son's health.
这神秘的静夜，这浑圆的和平，我喉咙里颤动着感谢的歌声，但是歌声马上又变成了诅咒。静夜，我不能受你的贿赂，谁稀罕你这墙内尺方的和平？我的世界还有更辽阔的边境。
This mysterious quiet night, this round peace. A song of thanks vibrates in my throat. But the song immediately turned into a curse. Quiet night. I can't take your bribe. Who cares about the peace within your walls? Minecraft also has wider borders.
这四墙既隔不断战争的喧嚣，你有什么方法禁止我的心跳？最好是让这口里塞满了沙泥，如其他只会唱着个人的休戚。最好是让这头颅给田鼠掘洞， 让这一团血肉也去喂着尸虫。
These four walls not only separate the hustle and bustle of constant war. Is there any way you can stop my heartbeat? It would be best to fill this mouth with sand and mud. Like others who only sing about personal condolences. It would be better if the head were used to dig burrows for field mice. Let this mass of flesh and blood also feed the corpse worms.
如果只是为了一杯酒、一本诗，静夜里钟摆摇来的一片闲适，就听不见了你们四邻的呻吟，看不见寡妇孤儿抖颤的身影，战壕里的痉挛，疯人咬着病榻，和各种惨剧在生活的沫子下。幸福。
If it's just for a glass of wine and a book of poetry. The pendulum swings in the quiet night to feel leisurely. I can't hear the moans of your neighbors. The trembling figures of widows and orphans are not visible. The convulsions in the trenches, the madman biting the sickbed. And all kinds of tragedies under the grinding mill of life. Happiness.
我如今不能受你的私会，我的世界不在这尺方的墙内。听，又是一阵炮声，死神在咆哮。静夜，你如何能禁止我的心跳？发现，我来了，我喊一声，蹦着血泪。这不是我的中华，不对，不对，我来了。
I can't accept your private bribes now. My world is not within these 1-foot square walls. Listen. There was another burst of gunfire, and the god of death roared. Quiet night. How can you stop my heartbeat? Discover. I'm here, I shouted, bursting with blood and tears. This is not my China, no, no. I am coming.
因为我听见你叫我，编着时间的罡风，擎一把火。我来了，不知道是一场空袭。我会见的是噩梦，那里是你。那是恐怖，是噩梦挂着悬崖。那不是你，那不是我的心爱。我追问青天，逼迫八面的风。
Because I heard you call me. Whipping the strong wind of time, holding a fire. I came, but I didn't know it was an empty celebration. What I meet is a nightmare. Where are you? It was horror, a nightmare hanging on a cliff. That's not you, that's not my love. I asked the blue sky, forcing the wind from all sides.
我问，拳头擂着大地的赤胸，总问不出消息，我哭着叫你，呕出一颗心来，在我心里。祈祷，请告诉我谁是中国人，启示我如何把记忆抱紧。请告诉我这民族的伟大，轻轻地告诉我，不要喧哗。
I asked, beating the earth's naked chest with my fist. I can't get any news, I cry and call you. Vomit out a heart, in my heart. Pray. Please tell me who is Chinese. Enlighten me how to hold the memory tightly. Please tell me the greatness of this nation. Tell me gently, don't make any noise.
请告诉我谁是中国人，谁的心里有尧舜的心，谁的血是荆轲聂政的血，谁是神农皇帝的一念。告诉我那智慧来的离奇，说是河马县来的以礼，还告诉我这歌声的节奏。
Please tell me who is Chinese. Who has the heart of Yao and Shun? Whose blood is the blood of Jing Ku and Nie Zheng? Who is the legacy of Shennong and Huangdi? Tell me that wisdom is miraculous, dash. It is said to be a ritual offered by a hippopotamus. Also told me the rhythm of this song.
原是九胞凤凰的传授，谁告诉我戈壁的沉默，和五岳的庄严？又告诉我，泰山的石还滴着忍耐，大江黄河又流着和谐。再告诉我，那一滴清泪，是孔子吊唁死灵的伤悲。
It turned out to be the teaching of nine-breasted phoenix. Who told me about the silence of Gobi? And the solemnity of the 5 mountains? And tell me, the stone of Mount Tai is still dripping with patience. Does the yellow river flow harmoniously again? Tell me again, that drop of clear tear. Is it the sadness of Confucius mourning the death of Lin?
那狂笑也得告诉我才好。庄周、淳于髡、东方朔的笑，请告诉我谁是中国人？启示我如何把记忆抱紧？请告诉我这民族的伟大。轻轻地告诉我，不要喧哗。一句话，有一句话说出就是祸。
You have to tell me about that crazy laugh. Zhuangzhou, Chunyukuan, Dongfang Shua's smile. Please tell me who is Chinese. Enlighten me how to hold the memory tightly. Please tell me the greatness of this nation. Tell me gently, don't make any noise. In a word, there is a saying that means disaster.
有一句话能点得着火，别看5000年没有说破，你猜得透火山的缄默，说不定是突然着了魔，突然青天里一个霹雳，爆一声，咱们的中国。这话教我今天怎样说，我不信铁树开花也可。
There is one sentence that can light a fire. Don't look at it, it hasn't been revealed for 5,000 years. Can you guess the silence of the volcano? Maybe he suddenly became obsessed. Suddenly there was a thunderbolt in the blue sky. Explosion. Our China. How should I say this today? I don't believe that iron trees can bloom.
那么有一句话你听着，等火山忍不住了缄默，不要发抖，伸舌头，顿脚，等到青天里一个霹雳，爆一声，咱们的中国。荒村，临淮关梁元镇间180里之距离，已安全断绝人烟。
Then there is a sentence for you to listen to. When the volcano could no longer hold its silence. Don't tremble, stick out your tongue, stamp your feet, dash. Waiting for a thunderbolt in the blue sky. Explosion. Our China. Deserted village. The distance of 180 miles between Linhuai Pass and Lianyuan town has been safely cut off from human habitation.
汽车道两旁之村庄，所有居民逃避一空。农民之家具木器，均以绳相连，沉于附近水塘稻田中，以避火焚。门窗俱无，众以棺材或石堵塞。一至夜间，则灯火全无。鸡犬食等觅食也间。
All the residents of the villages on both sides of the road were evacuated. Farmers' furniture and wooden utensils were tied together with ropes and sunk in nearby ponds and rice fields to avoid being burned by fire. There are no doors or windows, and the interior is blocked with coffins or stones. At night, there are no lights. Chickens, dogs, and pigs are foraging in the wild.
亦无人看哨，而间有玫瑰芍药由墙于自开。新出稻秧，翠霭宜人。草木无知，其丝之谓与。民国16年5月19日，新闻报，他们都上那里去了。怎么？蛤蟆蹲在甑上，水瓢里开白脸。
There is no one to guard it either. There are roses and peonies blooming in the corners of the wall. The new rice seedlings are green and pleasant. Ignorance of grass and trees, how can this be called ignorance? The news, May 19th, 16th year of the Republic of China. Where did they all go? Why? The toad squatted on the steamer, and the white lotus bloomed in the water ladle.
桌椅板凳在田里堰里飘着，蜘蛛的绳桥从东屋往西屋牵，门框里嵌棺材，窗棂里镶石块。这景象是多么古怪，多么惨！ 镰刀让他绣着快绣成了泥，抛着整个的渔网在灰堆里烂。偏呀！
Tables, chairs, and benches were floating in the weir in the fields. The spider's rope bridge leads from the east room to the west room. A coffin is built into the door frame, and stones are built into the window lattice. How strange and miserable this sight was. The sickle made it rust and almost turned into mud. The entire fishing net was left to rot in the ashes. Oh my God!
这样的村庄都留不住他们。玫瑰开不完，荷叶长成了伞。秧针这样尖，湖水这样绿，天这样清，鸟声像露珠样圆。这秧是怎样绿的？花谁叫红的？这泥里活着谁的血，谁的汗？去的这样的坚决。
No village like this can keep them. The roses bloom endlessly, and the lotus leaves grow into umbrellas. The rice seedling needles are so sharp, the lake is so green. The sky is so blue and the sound of birds is as round as dewdrops. How green are these seedlings? Who calls the flowers red? Whose blood and sweat is mixed in this mud? Go with such determination.
这样的托撒，可有什么苦衷，许了什么心愿？如今可有人告诉他们，这里，猪在大路上游，鸭往猪群里钻，雄鸡踏翻了芍药，牛吃了菜。告诉他们，太阳落了，牛羊不下山。
Such free and easy. But what are the difficulties and what wishes have you made? Now someone can tell them, here. Pigs wandered up the road, ducks burrowed among the pigs. The rooster trampled the peony, and the cow ate the vegetables. Tell them that the sun has set, and the cattle and sheep do not come down from the mountains.
一个个的黑影在岗上等着，四合的鸾帐龙蛇虎豹一般。他们望一望，打了一个寒噤。大家低下头来，再也不敢看。这也得告诉他们，他们想起往常。暮寒深了，白杨在风里颤。
Dark shadows are waiting on the post. The mountains of Sai are like dragons, snakes, tigers and leopards. They looked at each other and shuddered. Everyone lowered their heads and no longer dared to look. You have to tell them this too, they remember the usual. The dusk is getting colder, and the poplar trees are trembling in the wind.
那时只要站在山头嚷一句，山路太险了，还有主人来搀，然后笛声送他们踏进蓝门里。那稻草多么香，屋子多么暖。他们想到这里，滚下了一滴热泪。大家挤作一堆，脸微着脸。去。
At that time, all I had to do was stand on the top of the mountain and shout. The mountain road is too dangerous, and the owner is here to help. Then the sound of the flute sent them through the gate. How fragrant the straw is and how warm the house is. Thinking of this, they shed a tear. Everyone was huddled together, with their faces pressed against their faces. Go.
去告诉他们主人，告诉他们，什么都告诉他们，什么也不要瞒，叫他们回来，叫他们回来，问他们怎么自己的牲口都不管，他们不知道牲口是和小儿一样吗？可怜的畜生，他们多么没有胆！喂
Go tell their masters, tell them. Tell them everything and hide nothing from them. Call them back. Call them back. Ask them why they don't care about their own livestock. Don't they know that animals are the same as children? Poor beasts, how courageless they are. Hello.
你报信的人也上那里去了，快地告诉他们，告诉王家老三，告诉周大和他们兄弟8个，告诉临淮关一带的庄稼汉，还告诉那红脸的铁匠老李，告诉独眼龙，告诉徐半仙。
Where did your messenger go? Tell them quickly, tell the third child of the Wang family, tell Zhou De and their 8 brothers. Tell the bankers in Linhuiguan area. He also told the red-faced blacksmith Lao Li. Tell One-Eyed Dragon, tell Su Banxian.
告诉黄大娘和满村庄的妇女，告诉他们这许多的事一件一件，叫他们回来，叫他们回来。这景象是多么古怪，多么惨！偏呀，这样的村庄留不住他们，这样一个桃园，瞧不见人烟。罪过。
Tell Aunt Wang and all the women in the village. Tell them these many things, one by one. Call them back, call them back. How strange and miserable this sight was. Oh my God! Such villages cannot keep them. Tell Aunt Wang and all the women in the village. Tell them these many things, one by one. Call them back, call them back. How strange and miserable this sight was. Oh my God! Such villages cannot keep them. In such a paradise, there is no human habitation in sight. Sin.
老陶和担子摔一跤，满地是白杏红樱桃。老陶爬起来直哆嗦。我知道我今日的罪过，手破了，老头你瞧瞧，哎，都给压碎了，好樱桃。老头你别是病了吧？你怎么直愣着不说话？
The old man struggled with his burden. The ground is covered with white apricots and red cherries. The old man got up and shivered. I know my sin today. My hand is broken, old man, look at it. Oh! They're all crushed, what a cherry. Old man, are you sick? Why are you so silent and silent?
我知道我今日的罪过。一早起我儿子直催我，我儿子躺在床上发狠，他骂我怎么还不出城。我知道今日个不早了，没想到一下子睡着了，这叫我怎么办？怎么办？回头一家人怎么吃饭？
I know my sin today. My son kept urging me when I got up early in the morning. My son was lying on the bed, trembling. He scolded me for not leaving the city. I knew it was getting late today, that I didn't expect to fall asleep all of a sudden. What should I do? What should I do? How will the family eat later?
老头拾起来又掉了，满地是白杏红樱桃。天安门，好家伙，今日可吓坏了我，两条腿到这会儿还哆嗦，瞧着瞧着都要追上来了。要不我为什么要那么跑？先生，让我喘口气，那东西。
The old man picked it up and dropped it again. The ground is covered with white apricots and red cherries. Tiananmen Square. Good guy. It scared me today. My legs are still trembling now. Look, look, they are catching up. Otherwise, why would I run like that? Sir, let me take a breath, that thing.
你没有瞧见那黑漆漆的、没脑袋的、撅脚的，多可怕！还摇晃着白旗儿说着话。这年头真没法办，你问谁？真是人都办不了，别说鬼。还开会了，还不老实点儿？你瞧，都是谁家的小孩？
You didn't see the pitch black. Headless, kicking, how terrible. Still waving the white flag and talking. There's really nothing you can do these days, who do you ask? It's really something that no one can do, let alone ghosts. There's still a meeting, why don't you be honest? Look, they are all children from whose family?
不才10来岁吗？干嘛的？脑袋瓜上不是使枪扎的。先生，听说昨日又死了人，管包死的又是傻学生们。这年头也真有那怪事，那学生们有的喝，有的吃， 咱二叔头年死在杨柳青。
Aren't you only 10 years old? What for? Wasn't it stabbed in the head with a gun? Sir, I heard that another person died yesterday. It's the stupid students who are in charge. There are really weird things happening these days. Some of the students drank, some ate. Our second uncle died in Yangliuking the first year.
那是饿得没法去当兵，谁拿老命白白的送阎王？咱一辈子没撒过谎，我想。刚灌上俩子油，一整勺，怎么走着走着瞧不见道？怨不得小秃子吓掉了魂，劝人黑夜里别走天安门。的。
That's because I'm too hungry to serve as a soldier. Who would give away their old life to the king of hell in vain? We have never lied in our lives, I think. Just fill it with 2 tablespoons of oil, a full spoonful. Why can't I see the road while walking? I can't blame the little bald man for being scared out of his wits. I advise people not to walk through Tiananmen Square at night. Have to.
就算咱拉车的活倒霉，赶明日北京满城都是鬼。飞毛腿，我说飞毛腿那小子也真够别扭，管包是拉了半天车得半天歇着，一天少了说也得2、3两白干，醉醺醺的一死而拉着人谈天。
Even if we are unlucky at pulling a cart. Tomorrow, Beijing will be full of ghosts. Scud. I said that Scud boy is really awkward. Guanbao had to rest for a long time after pulling the cart for a long time. If you miss one day, you will have to work 2 or 3 tails in vain. A drunken man chatted with others.
他妈的，谁能陪着那个小子混呢？天为啥是蓝的？没事，他该问你，还吹他妈什么箫？你瞧那副神儿，窝着件破棉袄，老婆的也没准儿。再瞧他擦着那车上的俩大灯把。
Who the hell can hang out with that kid? Why is the sky blue? If nothing else, he should ask you. He's still playing the fucking flute. Look at that spirit. There is a tattered cotton-padded jacket on my bed, my wife's, maybe. Look at him wiping the 2 headlights on that car again.
擦着擦着，问你曹操有多少人马？成天车灯车把，且擦且不完了。我说飞毛腿，你怎不擦擦脸了？可是飞毛腿的车擦得真够亮的，许是得擦到和他那新地一样的。嗨。
I keep asking you how many men Chow Chow has. I keep wiping the lights and handlebars all day long. I said, Scud, why don't you wipe your face? But Scud's car was polished really brightly. Perhaps he has the same heart as his. Hi.
那天河里飘着飞毛腿的尸首，飞毛腿那老婆死得太不是时候。洗衣哥。洗衣是美国华侨最普遍的职业，因此留学生常常被人监道：“你爸爸是洗衣裳的吗？”1件、2件、3件，洗衣要洗干净。
That day there were Scud's corpses floating in the river. Scud's wife died at the wrong time. Laundry song. Laundry is the most common occupation for overseas Chinese in the United States. So international students are often asked, is your father a clothes washer? 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Laundry needs to be cleaned.
4件、5件、6件，运农要运得平。我洗的净悲哀的尸首帕，我洗的白罪恶的黑汗衣，贪心的油腻和欲火的灰，你们家里一切的脏东西。交给我洗，交给我洗。铜是那样臭，血是那样腥。
4 pieces, 5 pieces, 6 pieces. The ironer must iron it flat. I wash away the wet handkerchief of sorrow. I washed the black sweats of sin white. The grease of greed and the ashes of desire. All the filth in your house dash. Leave it to me to wash, leave it to me to wash. Copper is so smelly, blood is so fishy.
脏了的东西你不能不洗，洗过了的东西还是得脏。你忍耐的人们理他不理，替他们洗，替他们洗。你说洗衣的买卖太下贱，肯下贱的只有唐人不成。你们的牧师他告诉我说
You can't help but wash dirty things. Things that have been washed are still dirty. Are you patient with people ignoring it? Wash them. Wash them. You say the laundry business is too despicable. Only people from the Tang dynasty are willing to be humble. Your pastor told me.
耶稣的爸爸做木匠出身，你信不信？你信不信？一次白水耍不出花头来，洗衣裳远比不上造冰剑。我也说这有什么大出息？流一身血汗洗别人的汗，你们肯干？你们肯干？
Jesus' father was a carpenter. Do you believe it or not? Do you believe it or not? You can't play tricks with soap and white water. Washing clothes is not as good as building warships. I also said this has great potential. Shedding blood and sweat to wash away other people's sweat? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do it?
年去年来一滴思乡的泪，半夜三更一盏洗衣的灯。下贱不下贱你们不要管，看那里不干净，那里不平。问之那人，问之那人。我洗的净悲哀的尸首帕，我洗的白罪恶的黑汗衣。
Every year, I shed a tear of homesickness. A laundry lamp in the middle of the night. You don't care whether it's despicable or not. Look where it's not clean and there's unevenness. Ask the Chinese, ask the Chinese. I wash away the wet handkerchief of sorrow. I washed the black sweats of sin white.
贪心的油腻和欲火的灰，你们家里一切的脏东西，交给我洗，交给我洗。一件、两件、三件，洗衣要洗干净。四件、五件、六件，熨衣要熨得平。闻一多先生的书桌，忽然一切的静物都讲话了。
The grease of greed and the ashes of lust. All the filth in your house dash. Leave it to me, wash, leave it to me, wash, dash. 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Laundry needs to be cleaned. 4 pieces, 5 pieces, 6 pieces. Iron your clothes to a smooth finish. Mr. Yiduo's desk. Suddenly all the still life spoke.
忽然间，书桌上怨声腾沸，墨和呻吟到我渴得要死。字典喊雨水自湿了他的背，信笺忙叫道剜痛了他的腰。钢笔说烟灰闭塞了他的嘴，毛笔讲火柴烧秃了他的须。
Suddenly there was a roar of complaints on the desk. Cartridge moaned, I'm so thirsty. The dictionary said the rain stains wet his back. The letter hurriedly shouted and it hurt his waist. The pen said that the cigarette ashes blocked his mouth. The brush said that matches burned his beard bald. 铅笔抱怨牙刷压了他的腿，香炉咕噜着这些野蛮的书，早晚定规要把你击倒了。大钢表叹息快睡锈了骨头。风来了，风来了，稿纸都叫了。笔洗说它分明是盛水的。Pencil complains that the toothbrush presses against his leg. The incense burner muttered, these barbaric books, sooner or later they will surely knock you down. The big steel watch sighed and almost fell asleep, and its bones were rusty. The wind is coming. The wind is coming. The manuscript screamed, dash. Bai Shi said that he was clearly a water container.
怎么吃得惯臭辣的雪茄灰？桌子院1年洗不上2回澡。墨水壶说我2天给你洗1回。什么主人？谁是我们的主人？一切的静物都同声骂道：生活若果是这般的狼狈。
How do you get used to eating smelly cigar ashes? The table complains about not being able to take a bath twice a year. The inkpot said, I'll wash it for you every 2 days. What master? Who is our master? All the still lives cursed in unison, dash. If life were such a mess.
倒还不如没有生活的好。主人咬着烟斗咪咪地笑。一切的众生应该各安其位。我何曾有意地糟蹋你们？秩序不在我的能力之内。园内，你开始唱着园内之昨日，请唱得像玉杯跌得粉碎。
It would be better to have no life at all. The master smiled while biting his pipe. All sentient beings should be in their proper place. How could I ever intentionally harm you? Order is beyond my power. In the garden. You start singing, yesterday, in the garden. Please sing like a jade cup shattering after falling.
血色的酒浆溅污了满地，然后模拟掌中的细沙，从指缝之间溜出的声响。你若唱到园内之今日，当唱得像似一溪活水，在旭日光中匆匆流去，或如村蜀里窗角的学童。
Bloody wine splattered all over the ground. Then simulate the fine sand in your palm. The sound slipped from between the fingers. If you sing, today, in the garden. When you sing like a stream of living water. Flowing away in the rising sun. Or like the schoolchildren in the window corner of the village school.
走猪似的背诵他的课本。你若会唱园内之明日，你当想起我们子白的校旗，你便唱出风旗飘舞的节奏。最末必须起立，额首致敬。你又须唱得像军乐交鸣。寂寥封锁在园内了。
He recited his textbook like a ball. If you can sing, tomorrow, in the garden. You should think of our purple and white school flag. You will sing the rhythm of fluttering flags in the wind. At the end, he stood up from his seat and saluted with his forehead and hands. You must sing like a military band. 1. Loneliness is sealed in the garden.
风扇不开的寂寥，水流不破的寂寥。麻雀啊，叫呀叫呀，放出你那件敌视的音调，射破这坚固的寂寥，但是却儿终叫不出来。寂寥还封锁在园内，在这沉闷的寂寥里，雨水泡着的猪飞。
The loneliness of not turning on the fan. The loneliness of unbroken water. Sparrow. Scream, scream. Let out your arrow-like tone. Shoot through this solid loneliness. But the bird couldn't call out after all. Loneliness is still sealed in the garden. In this dreary loneliness. The red leaves soaked in rain.
才剩下些银红的霞晕，雨水洗尽了昨日的光荣。在这沉闷的寂寥里，金黄釉的琉璃瓦，是条死龙的残鳞败甲，飘零在四方上下。在这阴霾的寂寥里，大理石、云母石、青狼干、汉白玉。
Only some silver-red clouds remain. The rain has washed away yesterday's glory. In this dreary loneliness. Golden glaze glazed tiles. It's the broken scales and armor of a dead dragon. Floating in all directions. In this gloomy loneliness. Marble, mica, turquoise, white marble.
归彻的阶池，矢折的拦柱，纵横地卧在蓬蒿丛里，像是抱在沙场上的战鼓。在这悲酸的寂寥里， 长发的柳树还想弓飞，看在焦宁地池边饮气，饮气。半醒的蜗牛在败壁上。
The steps of the tortoise, the broken railings. Lying vertically and horizontally in the basil bushes. Like bones exposed on the battlefield. In this sad loneliness. The long-haired willow tree still looks like a palace concubine. Can was crying and crying by the gelled pool. A half-awake snail on the wall.
拖出了颠斜错杂的篆文，仿佛一页写错了的历史。在这恐怖的寂寥里，急的月儿常挂在松枝上，像杀一个已死的僵尸。在这恐怖的寂寥里，疯魔的月儿在松枝上一死。在这无聊的寂寥里
dragging out the jagged and slanted seal script. It's like a page of history that has been written wrongly. In this terrifying loneliness. The barren moon often hangs on the pine branches. Like a hanged zombie. In this terrifying loneliness. The crazy Yuer hanged herself on a pine branch. In this boring loneliness.
瘫碎了的王宫变成一座土地庙，颤切的农夫鬼物似的，悄悄地溜进园来，悄悄地烧了香，叩了头，又悄悄地溜出园去。寂寥又封锁在园内了，寂寥封锁在园内了，封扇不开的寂寥。
The ruined palace turned into a temple of earth. Like a trembling farmer ghost. Sneak into the garden quietly. He quietly burned incense and kowtowed. Sneaked out of the garden quietly again. Loneliness was sealed in the garden again. Loneliness is sealed in the garden. The loneliness of not turning on the fan.
水流不破的寂寥，一切都是沉闷阴霾，一切都是悲酸恐怖，一切都是百无聊赖。二，好了，新生命胎动了，寂寥的园内生了瑞枝，紫的灵芝，白的灵芝，装点了神秘的无缘。灵芝生了，新生命来了。
The loneliness of unbreakable water. Everything is dull and gloomy. Everything is sad and terrifying. Everything is boring. 2. All right. The baby is moving. Rueji was born in the lonely garden. Purple Ganoderma lucidum, white Ganoderma lucidum. Decorated with mysterious wuyuan. Ganoderma lucidum is born, new life is coming.
好了，活泼泼的少年，摩肩接踵地挤进园来了，饿着脑筋，烧着心血，紧张着肌肉的少年，从长城东头穿过山海关，裹着件大氅跑进园来了，从长城西尾穿过潼关，坐在驴车里拉进园来了。
Okay, lively boy. They crowded into the garden one after another. The brain is hungry, the heart is burning. The boy tensed his muscles. From the east end of the Great Wall, through Shanhaiguan. Wrapped in a big cloak, he ran into the garden. From the west end of the Great Wall, through Tongguan. He was pulled into the park in a donkey cart.
从三峡的湍流里夺进园里来了，飘过了南海，飘过了东海，飘过了黄海，飘过了渤海的少年，摇着团螺扇闯进园里来了。风流倜傥的少年，碧山儿荡着西湖的波色，翩翩然飘进园里来了。
Walking into the garden from the rapids of the Three Gorges. Drifted across the South China Sea, drifted across the East China Sea. The boy who drifted across the Yellow Sea and the Bohai Sea. Shaking the Tuanluo fan, he burst into the garden. A charming young man. The blue shirt is swaying with the ripples of the West Lake. Floating into the garden gracefully.
少年们来了，灵芝声满园内， 一切只是新鲜，一切只是明媚。灵芝不断地在园内茁放，少年们不断地在园内努力。3. 于是曙色轰醒了东方，好像觐见明晰的思想。晨鸡叫了，晨星没了。
The young people came, Ganoderma lucidum grew all over the garden. Everything is just fresh, everything is just bright. Ganoderma lucidum keeps growing in the garden. The teenagers are constantly working hard in the garden. 3. Then the dawn awakened the east. It's like a thought that is gradually becoming clearer. The morning rooster crows, the morning star is gone.
太阳翻身起来了，金光镀在紫铜河的穹隆上，金光燃在龙鳞式的琉璃瓦上，金光描在高楼顶的旗杆上，金光洒在颤巍巍的松枝上，金光吻在少年的桃夹上，少年在太阳的碧道之旁。
The sun has turned over. The golden light is plated on the dome of the copper cup. Golden light burned on the glazed tiles like dragon scales. The golden light traces on the flagpole on the top of the tall building. Golden light shines on the trembling pine branches. The golden light kissed the boy's peach cheek. The boy stood beside the path of the sun.
瞻望六龙挽着的云屏发轫，仿佛诚惶诚恐的村童，遥望着帝王的发架西幸，无限的敬仰，无限的新鲜，充满了他那蒙挚的心灵。早起的少年微立在假狮山上，红鹤招展在他脚底。
Looking at the beginning of Yun you held by the 6 dragons. Like a frightened village boy. Looking at the emperor's dharma driving Shishing in the distance. Infinite admiration, filled his childish mind. The young man who got up early stood dangerously on the rockery mountain. The red lotus fluttered on the soles of his feet.
旭日灿烂在他头上，早起的少年对着新生的太阳，如同对着他的言诗，背诵庄周屈子的宏文，背诵沙翁迷氏的巨制。万籁无声，宇宙在敛息倾听，训却飞下平地来倾听。
The rising sun was shining brightly over his head. The boy who got up early faced the new sun. Just like facing his strict teacher. Recite the great essays of Zhuang Zhou and Chu Zi. Recite the masterpieces of Sha Wang and Mi Shi. There is no sound, the universe is holding its breath and listening. The tame sparrow flew down to the ground to listen.
金鱼浮上池面来倾听，少年对着新生的太阳，背诵他的生命的课本。啊，自强不息的少年啊，谁是你的言师？若非这新生的太阳。4. 于是夕阳涨破了西方，赤血叠染了宇宙。
The goldfish floated up to the surface of the pond to listen. The young man faced the new sun, reciting the textbook of his life. Ah! A young man who constantly strives for self-improvement. Who is your strict teacher? What if it weren't for this new sun? 4. Then the setting sun rose above the west. Red blood stained the universe.
不是赔偿罪恶的代价，乃是生命膨胀之一流。赤血叠染了宇宙，细草伸出舌尖试着赤血，绿杨散开乱发沐着赤血，喷水池抛开罗甸香的银链，吼着要锁住窜游的夕阳。
It's not the price of compensation for sin. It is the overflow of the surge of life. Red blood dyed the universe. Shizao stuck out the tip of her tongue and licked the red blood. Lu Yang's messy hair was spread out and bathed in red blood. The fountain threw away the silver chain inlaid with mother of pearl, roaring to lock the wandering sunset.
夕阳跌倒在喷水池中， 池中是一盆鲜明的赤血，红砖上更红的爬墙虎，紫茎里浸出赤液的爬墙虎，仿佛是些血管胀破了，蹦出了满墙的红血斑。赤血膨胀了夕阳的宇宙。
The setting sun fell into the fountain. In the pool was a basin of bright red blood. A redder wall creeper on the red brick. A wall creeper that moves in and out of red leaves from purple stems. It was as if some blood vessels were swollen and burst. Red blood spots burst out all over the wall. Red blood surges across the sunset universe.
赤血膨胀了少年的血管，少年们在广场上游戏，球丸在太空里飞腾，像是9天上跳亮的巨灵，戏弄着熄了的太阳一样。少年们踢着熄了的太阳，少年们抛着熄了的太阳。
Red blood swelled in the boys' veins. Teenagers playing in the square. The pellet is flying in space. Like a giant spirit jumping in the sky. Like teasing the extinguished sun. The teenagers kicked the extinguished sun. The young people threw away the extinguished sun.
少年们顶着熄了的太阳，少年们抱着熄了的太阳，生命膨胀了少年的血管，少年们在戏弄熄了的太阳，夕阳里喧呼着的少年们，赤铜铸的筋骨，赤铜铸的精神，在戏弄熄了的太阳。哦。
The young people stood up against the extinguished sun. The teenagers hugged the extinguished sun. Life swelled in the young man's veins. The teenagers are teasing the dying sun. The boys shouting in the sunset. Sinews and bones made of red copper. The spirit of red copper. Playing with the dying sun. 5.
于是月亮窥进了东原，宇宙被清光浸满，宇宙晶凉的海水一般，宇宙变了清光之海，银波蹦入了窗棂，银波撕烂了庭院，银波弥漫了大自然，宇宙沉沦在海底里，哪里有杨柳？
Then the moon peeked into the east garden. The universe is filled with clear light. The universe is like crystal cool sea water. The universe became a sea of clear light. Silver waves burst into the window lattice. Silver waves flooded the courtyard. Silver waves filled the nature. The universe sinks into the ocean. Where are the willows?
哪里有松柏？这水晶似的晶蓝的空气中，只有些漫舞的海藻，只有些狐狸的铁珊瑚，拱抱着巍峨的大礼堂，龙宫似的庄严灿烂。龙宫的昌阁是黄金锤出的，龙宫的营柱是白玉雕成的。哦，
Where are the pines and cypresses? In this crystal blue air. Just some dancing seaweed. There are only some standing iron corals. Embracing the majestic auditorium. It is as majestic and splendid as a dragon palace. The Chang pavilion of the dragon palace is hammered out of gold. The pillars of the dragon palace are carved from white jade. Oh.
莫不是水国的仙人，这清空灵幻的少年，飘摇在龙宫之东，龙宫之西，那雍容娴雅的少年，竹植在龙宫之南，龙宫之北，少年浮游在海底在，浮游在清光之海底在，清光进入少年的心里。
Could it be the immortal from the water country? This ethereal and imaginary boy. Drifting to the east of the dragon palace, to the west of the dragon palace? That graceful and elegant young man. Wandering to the south of the dragon palace or to the north of the dragon palace. The boy is floating on the bottom of the sea. Floating on the bottom of the clear light, dash. The clear light penetrated into the young man's heart.
清光洗在少年的身外， 涤尽浊垢，引入清光。少年便是清光之海。听啊，哪里来的歌声？莫非就是弃珠的鲛人？莫非是深深海底的鲛人？坐在紫黑的禅石龛下，一臂支着愁思之箫。
The pure light washed over the young man's body. Wash away the filth and drink in the clear light. The young man is the sea of clear light. Listen, where is the singing coming from? Could it be the weeping mermaid? Could it be the sharks from the deep sea? Sitting under the purple-black stone niche. One wall is woven with the silk thread of sorrow.
一臂唱着缠绵之歌，啊，如此缠绵的歌声，唱得海水的惊波战栗，唱得海树的枝叶嗖嗖，唱得少年不能扬手，唱醒了少年的咬恨明仇。少年听了缠绵的歌声，唤醒了甜蜜蜜的神圣的绝望。
Singing a lingering song on the side? Ah, such lingering singing. Singing to make the crystal waves of the sea tremble. Singing makes the branches and leaves of the sea trees rustle. The young man couldn't hold his head up when he sang it. Singing awakens the young man's hatred and sorrow. The young man listened to the lingering singing, awakening the sweet divine despair.
或是热烘烘的玄秘的隐忧，一种没由来、没目的、一知半解的少年愁，为了茫茫的大千宇宙，为了滔滔的洪水猛兽，为了闸不住的情绪之流，还是抛不下锚的生命之舟。6.
Or the mysterious worries of hot offerings. A kind of without reason, without purpose. The sorrow of a young man who has only a little knowledge. For the vast universe? For the torrential beasts? For the unstoppable flow of emotions? Or is it the boat of life that cannot drop its anchor? 6.
于是月儿愈渐躲入了西园，楼房的暗影愈渐伸张弥漫，列着鹅冠阵的暗影转战而前，终于占领了凄凉的庭院。院中垂头丧气的花木，是被黑暗居囚的俘虏，锁在檐下的紫丁香。
So you are gradually hid in the west garden. The shadow of the building gradually spread and filled the air. The shadows lined up in the stork formation moved forward to fight. Finally occupied the desolate courtyard. The dejected flowers and trees in the courtyard. A prisoner imprisoned by darkness. Lilacs locked under the eaves.
锁在墙角的迎春柳，含着露珠，含着泪珠，莫不是牛一对气的楚囚？画角哀哀地叫了，悲壮的画角在黑暗里狂吠，好像激昂的更犬吠着盗贼，锐利的角声在空中咬着。
The jasmine willows locked at the foot of the wall. With dewdrops in his mouth, teardrops in his mouth. Could it be the prisoner of Chu who was crying in Niuyi? Huajiao cried sadly. The tragic painting horn barked in the darkness. Like an excited watchdog barking at the thief dash. The sharp horn bites in the air.
咬破了黑暗的魔术，咬破了少年的美梦。少年们宣开美梦，跳起踏床。少年们已和黑暗宣战了。啊，静夜的角声如何哭了，将少年们的心脏哭融了。500个战士的心脏融成一个。
Bite through the magic of darkness. Biting the boy's dream. The young people put aside their sweet dreams and jumped up from their beds. The teenagers have declared war on the darkness. Ah, how does the sound of the trumpet in the quiet night make you cry? The hearts of the young people melted with tears. The hearts of 500 warriors merged into one.
楼上点着蜡烛，楼下点着蜡烛，少年们正在会议，少年们正在努力。3旗营的同庆报进了5更， 报道黑暗的形成将近，少年们啊，再点上一支蜡烛，便撑持过了这黑暗的末路。曙光回了。
There are candles burning upstairs. There are candles burning downstairs. The teenagers are having a meeting. The teenagers are working hard. The bronze chimes of the Three Flags camp have been reported to the fifth watch, reporting that the journey of darkness is coming to an end. Boys, light another candle. He endured this dark end. Dawn has returned.
新生命又来了，一切又是新鲜明媚，一切又是希望努力。饿的脑筋烧着心血，紧张着肌肉的少年们，凭着希望造出了希望。活泼泼的少年们，又在园内不断的努力。然后
New life is here again. Everything is fresh and bright again. Everything is hope and hard work. Hungry brain, burning heart. The boys tensing their muscles. Out of hope comes hope. Lively young people. He continued to work hard in the garden. 7. Then.
有一天，园内的昨日引入了蒙昧的历史，园内的今日取代了昨日，然后风云扰攘的天宇，终竟彻底澄清了。慵目的蔚蓝临照了一切，无垠的蔚蓝的天宇，衬出了金碧辉煌的楼阁。
One day in the garden yesterday. Hidden into the history of ignorance. Today in the garden has replaced yesterday. Then the stormy sky. Finally, the body became clear. Yongmu's blue light illuminates everything. The boundless blue sky. It highlights the magnificent pavilion.
焕丽雄伟的楼阁，像是皇帝却一般。蓬莱的小钟鸣了，文武的千官，戎狄的臣职，群集在崔嵬的紫宸殿下，膜拜着文献之王。肃静森严的楼阁，又似佛寺梵语一般。上方的木磬响了。
The magnificent pavilion. It's like an emperor's palace. The dawn bell of Penglai rang. 1,000 civil and military officials, a nephew of Rome D. His Highness Zi Chen gathered in Chui Wei. Worshipped the king of documents. The solemn and solemn pavilion. It's like a Buddhist temple or a Brahma temple. The twilight chime above rang.
意志猛似龙象的僧侣们，群在理智之佛像前，焚着虔诚的香火。哦，文献的宫殿啊！哦，理智的寺观啊！处置在蔚蓝的天宇中，你是东方华胄的学府，你是世界文化的蒙坛。飘啊！
Monks with a will as strong as a dragon or an elephant. A group gathered in front of the statue of the Buddha of Reason, burning pious incense. Oh, palace of documents! Oh, sane temple view! Standing in the blue sky. You are the Academy of Oriental Huazhou. You are an ally of world culture. 8. Floating.
紫白参半的旗哦，飘啊，化作云气飘摇着，白云浮着的紫气啊，晕阴在这水木清华的景物上，好让这里万人的眼望着你，好让这里万人的心向着你，这里万人还在猛烈的工作。
The purple and white flag. Floating, turning into clouds and swaying. The purple air supported by white clouds. The mist is on this, water, wood, and Qinghua, scenery. So that the eyes of thousands of people here are looking at you. So that the hearts of thousands of people here will be towards you. Thousands of people here are still working hard.
像园内的苍松一般工作，伸出他们理智的根爪，挖烂了大地的基凑， 撕裂了大地的骨骼，将大地的神髓吸地，好像中天的红日泻土。这里万人还在静默的工作，像园外的西山一般工作。
Work like a pine tree in a garden, stretching out the root claws of their reason, digging out the flesh of the earth, tearing the bones of the earth apart, to suck the essence of the earth into the earth, so that I can vent my vomit toward the red sun in the sky. Thousands of people here are still working silently. Work like the western hills outside the garden.
静默地滋育了草木，静默地迸溢了温泉，静默地驮负了浮屠玉苑。春夏沐着雨露的高泽，秋冬带着霜雪伤痕，但他总在静默中工作。这里努力工作的万人，并不像西方式的机械。
Silently nourishing the vegetation. The hot springs overflowed silently, carrying the food to imperial garden silently. Spring and summer are bathed in rain and dew. Autumn and winter wear scars of frost and snow. But he always works in silence. Thousands of people working hard here. It's not like Western-style machinery.
大齿轮挽着小齿轮，全无意识的转动，全无目的转动，但只为他们的理想工作，为他们4000年来的理想。古圣先贤的遗训，努力工作。血气晕阴的校旗啊，你在百尺高楼上飘摇着。建筑经师。
The big gear pulls the small gear. Turning completely unconsciously, turning completely aimlessly. But only work for their ideals. For their 4,000 years of ideals. The teachings of ancient sages and sages are to work hard. The school flag is covered in snow. You are floating on a 100-foot-tall building. A closer look at the capital.
远望长城，你临照着新中华的心脏。啊，展开那4000年文化的历史，警醒万人，启示万人，赐给他们灵感，赐给他们精神。云气晕阴的校旗啊，在东西文化交锋之时，你又是万人的军旗。
Looking at the Great Wall from afar, you shine upon the heart of New China. Ah, unfold the history of the 4,000 years of culture. Alert all people, enlighten all people. Give them inspiration, give them spirit. The school flag is full of clouds. At the time of confrontation between Eastern and Western cultures, you are the military flag for thousands of people again.
万人肉袒腹经的时间过了，万人卧薪尝胆的时间过了，万人要为4000年的文化与强权霸术决一雌雄。云气晕阴的校旗啊，你便是东来的紫气，你飘出函谷关，向西迈往。
The time for tens of thousands of people to bear the burden of thorns has passed. The time for tens of thousands of people to suffer hardship has passed. 10,000 people want 4,000 years of culture. Fight against the mighty hegemony. The school flag is full of clouds. You are the purple energy from the east. You drift out of Hanggu Pass and head west.
你将携着我们圣人的灵魂，弥漫了稀土，迷温了全球。飘呀，紫白参半的旗呀，飘呀，画着云气飘摇着，白云浮着的紫气呀，晕阴在这水木清华的景物上，莫使这里万人忘了你的意义。
You will carry with you the souls of our saints. It permeated the western land and warmed the whole world. Gone. The purple and white flag. Gone. Turning into clouds and swaying. The purple energy supported by white clouds. The mist is on this, water, wood, and Qinghua scenery. Don't let the thousands of people here forget your significance.
莫使这里万人忘了你的意义。1923年3月16日二稿，原载1923年4月28日出版的《清华生活》，清华建校12周年纪念号。渔阳曲，白日底光芒照射着逐梦。
Don't let the thousands of people here forget your significance. Second draft, March 16, 1923. Originally published in Tsinghua Life, published on April 28, 1923. Tsinghua University's 12th anniversary issue. Yuyang Chu. The light at the end of the day shines on Zhu Meng.
丹池上默跪着双双的童影，宴饮的宾客坐满了西厢，高堂上虎踞着他们的主人，高堂上虎踞着威严的主人。叮咚，叮咚，沉默弥漫了堂中。又一个鼓手在堂前奏弄，这鼓声与众不同。叮咚。
On the danchi, 2 pairs of tonging silently knelt. The banquet guests filled the west wing. The tigers in the high hall are perched on their master. In the high hall sits the majestic master. Ding dong, ding dong. Silence filled the hall. Another drummer. Playing in front of the hall. This drum sound is different. Ding dong.
叮咚，听，你可听得懂？听，你可听得懂？银盏玉碟，长不变艳府龙肝；鸬鹚勺子，谢着美酒如泉。杯盘的交响，闹成铿锵一片。笑容堆皱在主人底满脸，啊，笑容堆皱了主人底满脸。叮咚，
Ding dong. Listen. Do you understand? Listen. Do you understand? Silver cup and jade plate, I can't taste the swallow's breast and dragon's liver. The cormorant ladle pours out wine like a spring. The symphony of cups and plates became sonorous. A smile crumpled all over the owner's face. Ah, the smile crumpled all over the master's face. Ding dong.
叮咚，这鼓声与众不同，它轻如鹤类，它细似银琼。这鼓声与众不同。叮咚，叮咚，听，你可听得懂？听，你可听得懂？你看这鼓手，他不像是凡夫，他如冠如服，定然富有诗书。
Ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. It is as clear as crane tears. It is as thin as a chanting cricket. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Listen. Do you understand? Listen. Do you understand? You see, this drummer doesn't look like an ordinary person. He is a scholar and a scholar, so he must have poems and books in his belly.
他疑乎调度着更优雅的音乐。粗笨的鼓槌不是他的工具，这双鼓槌不是这手中的工具。叮咚，叮咚，这鼓声与众不同，像寒泉筑堂，项羽打梧桐。这鼓声与众不同。叮咚，叮咚，听。
He arranges more elegant music. Clumsy drums are not his tools. These drums and drums are not tools in this hand. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. Like a cold spring flowing. Like rain hitting the sycamore tree. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Listen.
你可听得懂？听，你可听得懂？你看他敲着灵驼鼓，两眼朝天。你看他在庭前绕着一道长弧线，然后徐徐地步上了阶梯，一步一声鼓，越打越酣然。啊，声声的擂鼓，越打越酣然。叮咚，叮咚。
Do you understand? Listen. Do you understand? Look at him beating the lingun drum, with his eyes raised to the sky. You see him making a long arc in front of the court. Then he slowly climbed up the stairs. One step at a time, the drum beats louder and louder. Ah, the sound of the drums becomes more and more lively. Ding dong, ding dong.
这鼓声与众不同，陡然成急切，忽又变成沉雄。这鼓声与众不同，叮咚，叮咚，不同，与众不同，不同，与众不同。坎坎的鼓声震动了吴语，他走上了高堂，便张目四顾。他看见满堂缩色的猪羊。
The sound of this drum is different. Suddenly became anxious. Suddenly he became shinxiong again. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. The sound of Kankan's drum shook the house. He walked onto the high hall and looked around. He saw the hall full of cowering pigs and sheep.
当中是一只磨牙的老虎，他偏要撩一撩这只老虎。叮咚，叮咚，这鼓声与众不同，这不是颂德，也不是歌功，这鼓声与众不同。叮咚，叮咚，不同，与众不同，不同，与众不同。
Among them is a tiger grinding its teeth. He wanted to tease this tiger. Ding dong, ding dong. This drum sound is different. This is not a hymn. Nor is its singing ability. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different.
他大步地跨向主人底膝旁，却被一个班吏匆忙地阻挡。无礼的奴才！这班吏吼道：“你怎么不穿上号衣就往前瞎闯？你没有穿号衣就往这儿瞎闯！”叮咚，叮咚，这鼓声与众不同。
He strode towards the host's seat, but was hurriedly blocked by a class official. Rude slave, the official yelled. Why don't you put on your uniform and just rush forward? You don't put on your uniform and just rush here. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different.
分明是咒诅，显然是嘲弄。这鼓声与众不同。叮咚，叮咚，听，你可听懂？听，你可听懂？他领过了号衣，靠近栏杆，次第地脱了皂帽，解了青衫，忽得满堂的木猪都不敢直视。
It's clearly a curse. Clearly a mockery. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Listen. Do you understand? Listen. Do you understand? He took the uniform, approached the railing. One by one, he took off his soap hat and shirt. Suddenly, everyone in the room didn't dare to look directly.
仿佛看见猛烈的光芒一般，仿佛他身上射出金光一般。叮咚，叮咚，这鼓手与众不同，他赤身露体，他声色不动。这鼓手与众不同。叮咚，叮咚，真个与众不同，真个与众不同。满堂是恐怖。
As if seeing a fierce light. It was as if golden light was emitting from him. Ding dong, ding dong. This drummer is different. He was naked. He remained calm. This drummer is different. Ding dong, ding dong. What a difference. What a difference. The whole hall was filled with terror.
满堂是惊讶，满堂寂寞，日影在石栏杆下，飞起了翩翩一只穿花蝶，洒落了疏疏几点木樨花，庭中洒下了几点木樨花。 叮咚，叮咚。这鼓手与众不同，莫不是酒醉，莫不是巅峰。
The whole room was surprised. The whole hall is lonely, the shadow of the sun is under the stone railing, dash. A butterfly clad in flowers flew up. A few scattered mignonette flowers were scattered. A few mignonette flowers were sprinkled in the garden. Ding dong, ding dong. This drummer is different. Could it be that he was drunk? Could it be madness?
这鼓手与众不同，叮咚，叮咚，叮当与众不同，叮当与众不同。仓皇的后挂露出一只赤臂，头颅上高架着一顶银盔。他如今换上了全副装束，如今他才是一个知礼的奴才。
This drummer is different. Ding dong, ding dong. It will definitely be different. It will definitely be different. The pale yellow number reveals a bare arm. There is a silver helmet high on the head. He is now in full costume. Now he is a polite slave.
如今他才是一个知礼的奴才。叮咚，叮咚，这鼓声与众不同，像狂涛打岸，像霹雳腾空。这鼓声与众不同，叮咚，叮咚，不同，与众不同，不同，与众不同。他在主人的席前左右徘徊。
Now he is a polite slave. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. Like wild waves hitting the shore. Like a thunderbolt soaring into the sky. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. He wandered around in front of the host's table.
鼓声愈见激昂，越加慷慨。主人停了玉杯，筑了象柱。主人的面色早已变作死灰。啊，主人的面色为何变作死灰？叮咚，叮咚，这鼓声与众不同，雷得你胆寒，抓得你发悚。这鼓声与众不同。
The drums became more and more passionate and generous. The master stopped the jade cup and held the elephant chopsticks. The master's face had already turned gray. Ah, why does the master's face turn so gray? Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. The beating will make you scared. It makes you feel numb. This drum sound is different.
叮咚，叮咚，不同，与众不同，不同，与众不同。猖狂的鼓声在庭中嘶吼，主人的羞恼梗塞咽喉。主人将唤起威风，呕出怒火。谁知又一阵鼓声扑上心头，把他的怒火扑灭在心头。叮咚，叮咚，
Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. Rampant drums roared in the courtyard. The master's shame choked his throat. The master will evoke majesty and vomit anger, dash. Unexpectedly, another burst of drum sound hit my heart. Put out his anger. Ding dong, ding dong.
这鼓声与众不同，像鱼龙走峡，像兵甲交锋。这鼓声与众不同，叮咚，叮咚，不同，与众不同，不同，与众不同。堂下的鼓声忽地笑个不止，堂上的主人只是坐着发痴，洋洋的笑声洒落在四眼。
The sound of this drum is different. Like a fish and a dragon walking through the gorge. Elephants and soldiers clash. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. The drums in the hall suddenly started laughing. The master in the hall just sat in a daze. Filled with laughter, the 4 feasts were full of laughter dash.
鼓声笑破了奸雄的胆子，鼓声又笑破了主人的胆子。叮咚，叮咚，这鼓手与众不同。席上的主人一动也不动，这鼓手与众不同。叮咚，叮咚，叮当与众不同，叮当与众不同。
The sound of drums broke the traitor's courage. The drum beat broke the master's courage again. Ding dong, ding dong. This drummer is different. The host at the table. Not moving at all. This drummer is different. Ding dong, ding dong. It will definitely be different. It will definitely be different.
白日的残灰绕过了雕营，丹池上没有了双双的铜影。无聊的宾客坐满了2厢，高堂上呆坐着他们的主人，高堂上坐着丧气的主人。叮咚，叮咚，这鼓手与众不同，惩治了国贼。
The remaining light of the day bypasses the carved couplets. There are no more twinkling shadows on the danchi. Bored guests filled the hatchback. Sitting blankly in the high hall was their master. The dejected master sat in the high hall. Ding dong, ding dong. This drummer is different. Punished the national traitors.
平辱了枭雄，这鼓手与众不同。叮咚，叮咚，真个与众不同，真个与众不同。原在1925年3月10日出版的《小说月报》第16卷第3号。大树，今天是大暑节，我要回家了。
The court humiliated the hero. This drummer is different. Ding dong, ding dong. What a difference. What a difference. Originally published in Novel Monthly, Volume 16, Number 3, published on March 10, 1925. Great heat. Today is the great summer festival and I'm going home.
今天的日历，他劝我回家了。他说家乡的大暑节是斑鸠换羽的时候，大暑到了，湖上飘满紫鸡头。大暑正是我回家的时候，我要回家了。今天是大暑，我们园里的丝瓜爬上了树。
Today's calendar he advised me to go home. He said that the great summer festival in his hometown. It's the time when the turtle dove calls for rain. The summer heat has arrived, and purple chicken heads are floating on the lake. Great summer is when I go home. I'm going home, it's a hot day today. The loofah in our garden climbed up the tree.
几多银丝的小葫芦吊在藤须上微微颤，出街市的黄瓜儿小得像橄榄。啊，今年不回家，更待哪一年？今天是大暑，我要回家了。燕儿坐在横梁上头讲话了，斜头赤脚的村家女。
A small gourd with many silver threads. Hanging on the vines and trembling. The first cucumbers are as small as olives. Oh! If you don't go home this year, which year will you stay? Today is a hot day and I have to go home. Yenner sat on top of the truss and spoke. A village girl with a slanted head and bare feet.
门前叫到麦莲蓬，青蛙闹在画堂西，闹在画堂东。今天不回家，辜负了稻香风。今天是大暑，我要回家去。家乡的黄昏里尽是盐老鼠。月下乘凉听打道，卧看星斗作吹箫。
Selling lotus pods called out in front of the door. The frogs are making trouble in the west of the painting hall, and in the east of the painting hall. Not going home today will let down Dao Xiangfeng. Today is a hot day, I want to go home. The dusk in my hometown is full of salt rats. Enjoying the cool weather under the moonlight and listening to threshing of rice. Lying down and watching the stars, sitting and playing the flute.
陆慈偷着踏上海船来睡觉。我也要回家了，我要回家了。原载1925年4月1日，京报副刊1067。口供：我不骗你，我不是什么诗人。纵然我爱的是白石的坚贞、青松和大海。
The egret sneaks onto the ship to sleep. I'm going home too, I'm going home. Originally published in issue 106 of Beijing News Supplement on April 1, 1925. Oral Confession. I won't lie to you, I'm not a poet. Even though I love Shiraishi's steadfastness. Green Pines and Sea.
鸭背驮着夕阳，黄昏里织满了蝙蝠的翅膀。你知道我爱英雄，还爱高山。我爱一幅国旗在风中招展。自从鹅黄到古铜色的菊花，记着我的粮食是一壶苦茶。可是还有一个我，你怕不怕？
The crow carries the setting sun on its back. The dusk is woven with bat wings. You know I love heroes, and I also love mountains. I love a national flag fluttering in the wind. From goose yellow to bronze chrysanthemums. Remember my food is a pot of bitter tea. But there is another me, are you afraid of me?
苍蝇式的思想，垃圾桶里爬。收回。那一天，只要命运肯放我们走，不要怕，虽然得走过一个黑洞，你大胆地走，让我多着你的手，也不用问那里来的一阵阴风，只记住了我今天的话，留心呐。
Thoughts like flies crawling in trash cans. Take back. That day, as long as fate is willing to let us go. Don't be afraid, although you have to walk through a black hole. You walk boldly, let me hold your hand. There is no need to ask where the dark wind is coming from. Just remember what I said today, pay attention to that.
一句温存，几朵吻，留心那几柱笑，都给拾起来，没有差，记住我的话。拾起来，还有珊瑚色的一串心跳。可怜今天苦了你，心渴望着心。那时候该让你拾一个痛快。
A handful of tenderness, a few kisses, pay attention to those smiles. They were all picked up, and there was no difference, mark my words. Picking it up, there is also a string of coral-colored heartbeats. I am sorry that you have suffered so much today, my heart longs for my heart. It's time for you to pick it up at that time, and pick it up happily.
拾起我们今天损失了的黄金，那斑斓的残瓣都是我们的爱。拾起来，带上，你带着爱的圆光。我们再走，管它是地狱是天堂。你指着太阳起誓，你指着太阳起誓，叫天边的浮燕，说你的忠贞。
Pick up the gold we lost today. Those stained fragments are all our love. Pick it up and put it on. You wear the round light of love. Let's go again, whether it's hell or heaven. You swear by the sun. You swear by the sun and call the geese on the horizon. Talk about your loyalty.
好了，我完全相信你，甚至热情开出泪花，我也不诧异。只是你要说什么海枯，什么石烂，那便笑得死。我这一口气的功夫，还不够我陶醉的，还说什么永久？哎，你知道我只有一口气的贪图。
Okay, I completely believe you. I am not surprised even if passion brings tears. It's just that you want to talk about dry seas and broken rocks. Then laugh to death. In just one breath of my life. Not enough for me to be intoxicated? What about permanent? Love, you know I only have one breath of covet.
快来箍紧我的心，快！啊，你走，你走，我早算救了你那一手，也不是变卦。 永久早许给了别人，比康是我的份。别人得的才是你的精华，不坏的千春。你不信？
Come and tighten my heart, come quickly. Ah, you go, you go. I had already settled your decision and it's not like I changed my mind. Eternal has been promised to others long ago, and the chaff is my portion. What others get is your essence, the immortal thousand springs. Don't you believe it?
假如一天死神拿出你的花押，你走不走？去恋着他的怀抱，跟他去讲那海枯石烂不变的贞操。什么梦？一排燕子仓皇地渡过天河，寒燕的哀呼从他心里穿过。人啊，人啊，他叹道。
Suppose one day death takes out your monogram. Are you leaving? Go. To fall in love with his arms. Tell him about the unchanging chastity. What dream? A row of wild geese hurriedly crossed the Tianhe River. Han Yan's cry passed through her heart. People, people, she sighed, dash.
你在哪里？在哪里教导我？黄昏拥着恐怖直向他进逼，一团剧痛沉淀在他的心里。天啊，天啊，他叫道，这到底是什么意义？道是那样长，行程又在夜里。他站在生死的门线上游移，烦闷。
Where are you? Where are you calling me? Dusk embraced the terror and pushed straight towards her. A ball of sharp pain settled in her heart. Oh my God, she cried. What on earth is this? What's the point? The road is so long, and the journey is at night. She stood on the threshold of life and death, still uncertain. Depressed.
烦闷，他想到，我将永远结束了你。决断写在他脸上，决断的从容。忽然摇篮里哇的一阵警钟，儿啊，他哭了。我做的是什么梦？大鼓是，我挂上一面豹皮的大鼓。
Boring, she thought, I will never, ever end you. The determination was written on her face, the calmness of the decision. Suddenly there was an alarm bell in the cradle, dash. My baby, she cried, dash. I will do it. What is the dream? Drummer. I hung up a leopard skin drum.
我敲着它游遍了一个世界，我唱过了形形色色的歌儿，我也听饱了喝不完的彩。一脚斜阳倒挂在檐下，我蹑着芒鞋踏入了家村。咱们自己的那支歌呢？他赶上前来，一阵的高兴。
I traveled around the world tapping it. I have sung all kinds of songs. I am also fed up with the endless entertainment. A corner of the setting sun hangs upside down under the eaves. I tiptoed into my village with my mango shoes. Where's our own song? She caught up and felt happy for a while.
我会唱英雄，我会唱豪杰，那倩女情郎的歌我也唱。若要问到咱们自己的歌，天知道，我真说不出的心慌。我却吞下了悲哀，叫他一声：“快拿我的三弦来，快啊快！”这只破鼓也忒嫌闹了，我要。
I can sing heroes, I can sing heroes. I also sing the song of a Chinese lover. If you want to ask about our own songs. God knows, I'm really flustered beyond words. But I swallowed my sorrow and called her. Bring me my sanxian, come on, come on. This broken drum is too noisy, I want.
那弦子弹出我的歌来，我先弹着一群白鸽在霜林里，珊瑚爪踩着黄叶一堆，然后你听那秋虫在石缝里叫，忽然又变了冷雨洒着柴扉，洒不尽的雨，流不完的泪。 我叫声娘子。
That string plays my song. I first played with a group of white doves in the frost forest. The coral claws stepped on a pile of yellow leaves. Then you listened to the autumn insects playing in the cracks of the rocks. Suddenly, the cold rain fell on Chai Fei. Endless rain, endless tears.
把弦子丢了。今天我们拿什么做歌来唱？歌早已化作泪儿流了。怎么你也抬不起头来？啊，这怎么办？怎么办？来，你来，我都出来的悲哀，得让我自己来吻它干，只让我这样呆望着你。
Lost the string. What song should we sing today? The song has already turned into tears. What? Why can't you raise your head? Ah. What to do, what to do? Come. Come on. The sorrow I brought out. I have to kiss it myself. Just let me stare at you like this.
娘子，像窗外的寒娇望着月亮，让我只在静默中赞美你。可是总想不出什么歌来唱，纵然是刀斧削出的连理枝，你瞧，这姿势一点也没有扭。我可怜的人，你莫疑我，我原也不怪那挥刀的手。
Wife. Like the cold banana outside the window looking at the moon. Let me praise you only in silence. But I can't think of a song to sing. Even if it is a straight branch cut with an axe, you see, this posture is not twisted at all. My poor man, don't doubt me, I don't blame the hand that wields the knife.
你不要多心，我也不要问。山泉到了井底，还往哪里流？我知道你永远起不了波澜，我要你永远给我润着歌喉。假如最末的希望否认了孤舟，假如你拒绝了我，我的船坞，我站着风涛。
Don't worry about it, and I don't want to ask. When the mountain spring reaches the bottom of the well, where will it flow? I know you can never make waves. I want you to moisturize my singing voice forever. If the last hope denies the lonely boat, dash. If you reject me, my dock, dash. I fight against the wind and waves.
日暮归来，谁是我的家？谁是我的归宿？但是娘子啊，在你的尊前，许我大鼓三弦都不要用。我们委实没有歌好唱，我们既不是儿女，又不是英雄。你莫怨我，你莫怨我，这原来不算什么。
Returning at dusk. Who is my home? Who is my destination? But, madam, in front of your majesty, you allow me not to use the 3 strings of the drum, dash. We really have no songs to sing, we dash. We are neither sons and daughters, nor heroes. Dash. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. This turns out to be nothing.
人生是萍水相逢，让它萍水样错过。你莫怨我，你莫怨我，泪珠在眼边等着，只需你说一句话，一句话便会碰落。你莫问我，你莫惹我，不要想灰上点火，我的心早累倒了，最好是让他睡着。
Life is like meeting by chance. Let him miss it by chance. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. Tears are waiting in the eyes. As long as you say a word. One word and it will be knocked down. Don't ask me. Don't mess with me. Don't try to add fuel to the fire. My heart has long been exhausted. Better to let it sleep.
你莫惹我，你莫碰我，你想什么想什么，我们是萍水相逢，应得轻轻错过。你莫碰我，你莫管我，从今加上一把锁， 再不要敲错了门。今回算我撞的祸，你莫管我。你看。
Don't mess with me. Don't touch me. What are you thinking about? We met by chance. Deserve to be lightly missed. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Add a lock from now on. Don't knock on the wrong door again. It's my fault this time. Leave me alone. You see.
你看太阳像棉后的春蚕一样，振日吐不尽黄丝似的光芒。你看复宣的红巾在电杆烧上，酣眠的紧压脖在老柳根旁。你眼前又陈列着青春的宝藏。朋友们，请就在这眼前欣赏。
You look at the sun like a spring silkworm after sleeping. The sun is shining brightly like yellow threads. Look at Ning Xian's red lapel on the top of the electric pole. The sleeping golden duck rests beside the old willow root. The treasure of youth is displayed in front of you again. Friends, please enjoy it right in front of your eyes.
你有眼睛，请再看青山的峦嶂，但莫向那山外探望你的家乡。你听那枝头送春的梅花雀，你得开干眼泪和他一支歌。朋友，乡愁最是个无情的恶魔，它能教你眼前的春光变作沙漠。
If you have eyes, please look at the mountains and hills again. But don't look beyond the mountains to see your hometown. Listen to the plum blossoms singing spring on the branches. You have to wipe away your tears and sing to him. Friends, homesickness is the most ruthless demon. He can teach you to turn the spring scenery in front of you into a desert.
你看春风解放了冰镇的寒溪，半溪百尺丛丛地竖着涟漪，细草又织就了幼幼的绿意，白杨枝上招展着么小的银旗。朋友们，等你看到了故乡的春，怕不要老尽春光老尽了人。呵。
Look, the spring breeze has liberated the icy cold stream. The white teeth of Banksy rinse the ripples. The fine grass weaves the glaze green again. A small silver flag flutters on the poplar branches. Friends, when you see the spring in your hometown, are you afraid that your life will be over when you are old? Oh.
不要探望你的家乡，朋友们。家乡是个贼，他能偷去你的心。也许，藏哥，也许你真是哭得太累。也许你要睡一睡。那叫夜莺不要咳嗽，我不要嚎，蝙蝠不要飞，不许阳光剥你的眼帘。
Don't visit your hometown, friends, dash. Hometown is a thief, he can steal your heart. Maybe. Funeral song. Maybe you are really tired of crying. Maybe you need to take a nap, dash. Then tell Nighthawk not to cough. Frogs don't want to whistle, bats don't want to fly. Don't let the sun shine in your eyes.
不许清风刷上你的眉，无论谁都不能惊醒你。撑一伞松阴庇护你睡。也许你听着蚯蚓翻泥，听着小草的根须吸水。也许你听这般的音乐，比那咒骂的人声更美。那，你先把眼皮闭紧。
Don't let the breeze brush your eyebrows. No one can wake you up. Hold an umbrella and let the pine shade protect you while you sleep. Maybe you listen to this earthworm digging through the mud. Listen to the roots of this grass sucking water. Maybe you listen to music like this dash. More beautiful than the cursing voice. Then close your eyelids tightly first.
我就让你睡，我让你睡。我把黄土轻轻盖着你，我叫纸钱缓缓地飞。忘掉它，忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花。那朝霞在花瓣上，那花心的一缕香。忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花。忘掉它， 像一朵忘掉的花。
I'll let you sleep, I'll let you sleep, dash. I cover you lightly with the luss. I ask the paper money to fly slowly. Forget about her. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. The morning glow is on the petals. The fragrance of the flower heart. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower.
像春风里一出梦，像梦里的一生中，忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花，忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花。听蟋蟀唱得多好，看牧草长得多高，忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花，忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花。
Like a dream in the spring breeze. Like a bell in a dream. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. How nice it is to listen to the cricket singing. Look how tall the tomb grass grows. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower.
他已经忘记了你，他什么都记不起。忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花，忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花。年华那朋友真好，他明天就教你老。忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花，忘掉它，像一朵忘掉的花。
She has forgotten you. She couldn't remember anything. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. That friend in Nianhua is so good. He will teach you tomorrow. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower.
如果是有人要问，就说没有那个人。忘掉他，像一朵忘掉的花。忘掉他，像一朵忘掉的花。像春风里一出梦，像梦里的一生中。忘掉他，像一朵忘掉的花。谓语，他在那生命的阳春时节。
If anyone wants to ask, just say there is no such person. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Like a dream in the spring breeze. Like a bell in a dream. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Tears and rain. In the prime of his life.
曾流着豪饥豪寒的眼泪，那原是书生解冰的春林，却也照指了生命的哀悲。他少年的泪是连绵的阴雨，暗中浇熟了酸苦的黄梅。如今黑云密布，雷电交加，他的泪像下雨一般的滂沛。
She once shed tears of hunger and cold. That was the spring rain that Xu Sheng used to dissolve the ice. But it also symbolizes the sadness of life. The tears of his youth were like continuous rain. The sour and bitter yellow plums are ripened in secret. Now there are dark clouds, thunder and lightning. His tears poured down like summer rain.
中途的怅惘，老大的蹉跎。他知道中年的苦累更多，中年的泪定似秋雨淅沥，梧桐叶上敲着永夜的悲歌。谁说生命的残冬没有眼泪？老年的泪是悲哀的总和，他还有一掬结晶的老泪。
The regret in the middle of the journey, the boss wasted time. He knows that there are more bitter tears in middle age. The tears of middle age must be like the pattering of autumn rain. The elegiac song of eternal night is beating on the sycamore leaves. Who said there are no tears in the last winter of life? The tears of old age are the sum of sorrow. He still has a handful of crystallized old tears.
要开作漫天愁人花朵。末日，露水在碱桶里哽咽着，芭蕉的绿舌头试着玻璃窗，四围的鄂壁都往后退。我一人填不满偌大一间房，我新房里烧上一盆火，静候着一个远道的客人来。
To bloom flowers that fill the sky with sorrow. End. The dew choked in the toilet bowl. Basho's green tongue licked the glass window. The surrounding chalk walls recede. I can't fill such a big room by myself. A pot of fire is burning in my heart, waiting for a guest from afar to come.
我用蛛丝属使为火盘，我又用花蛇的鳞甲代劈柴。鸡声直催，盆里一堆灰。一股阴风偷来摸着我的口，原来客人就在我眼前。我眼皮一闭，就跟着客人走。死水，这是一沟绝望的死水。
I feed the brazier with spider silk rat arrows. I also use the scales of the flower snake to chop firewood. The sound of chickens was heard, and there was a pile of ashes in the basin. A dark wind secretly touched my mouth. It turns out that the guest is right in front of me. As soon as I closed my eyelids, I followed the guest. Still water. This is a ditch of hopeless stagnant water.
清风吹不起半点衣轮，不如多扔些破铜烂铁，爽性泼你的剩菜残羹。也许铜的要滤成翡翠，铁罐上绣出几瓣桃花，再让油腻织一层罗绮。霉菌给它蒸出些云霞，让死水叫成一沟绿酒。
The breeze cannot blow any ripples. It's better to throw away more junk metal. Just throw in your leftovers. Maybe the copper will turn green into emerald. A few peach blossoms are embroidered on the tin can. Let the grease weave a layer of silk. The mold steamed up some clouds for him. Let the dead water ferment into a ditch of green wine.
飘满了珍珠似的白沫，小猪们笑声变成大猪，又被偷酒的花纹咬破。那么一沟绝望的死水，也就夸得上几分鲜明。如果青蛙耐不住寂寞，又算死水叫出了歌声。这是一沟绝望的死水。
Full of pearl-like white foam. The laughter of the small beads turned into big beads. He was bitten by a mosquito that stole wine. Such a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. It can be said to be somewhat vivid. If the frog can't stand the loneliness. The stagnant water sang again. This is a ditch of hopeless stagnant water.
这里断不是美的所在，不如让给丑恶来开垦，看他造出个什么世界。春光，静得像入定了的一般。那天竺，那天竺上密叶遮不住的珊瑚，那碧桃在朝吞里运气的麻雀。
This is by no means a place of beauty. It's better to let ugliness take over the cultivation. Look what kind of world he creates. Spring. It was as quiet as being in trance, that day the bamboo. That day, the dense leaves on the bamboo could not cover the coral. That green peach, the lucky sparrow in Chowtuan.
春光从一张张的绿叶上爬过，蓦地一道阳光晃过我的眼前，我眼睛里飞出了万只的金箭，我耳边又谣传着翅膀的魔声，仿佛有一群天使在空中螺旋。忽的深巷里蹦出了一声青睐。
The spring light crawled over the green leaves. Suddenly a ray of sunlight flashed across my eyes. Thousands of golden arrows flew out of my eyes. The sound of wings rubbing came to my ears again. It seems like there are a group of angels patrolling in the sky. Suddenly, a clear sound burst out from the deep alley.
可怜可怜我这瞎子，老爷太太。静夜，这灯光漂白了的四壁，这贤良的桌椅，朋友似的亲密，这古书的纸香一阵阵的袭来，要好的茶杯真女一般的洁白，受捕的小儿煞瞎在母亲怀里。
Have pity on me, the blind man, sir and madam. Quiet night. This light, the four walls bleached by the light. These virtuous tables and chairs, as close as friends. The fragrance of paper from ancient books comes to me in waves. The best teacup is as pure and pure as a virgin. The nursing child sips in the mother's arms.
鼾声报道我大儿康健的消息，这神秘的敬业，这浑圆的和平，我喉咙里颤动着感谢的歌声，但是歌声马上又变成了诅咒。敬业，我不能受你的贿赂，谁稀罕你这墙内尺方的和平？
Snoring reports the news of my eldest son's health. This mysterious quiet night, this round peace. A song of thanks vibrates in my throat. But the song immediately turned into a curse. Quiet night. I can't take your bribe. Who cares about the peace within your walls?
我的世界还有更辽阔的边境，这四墙既隔不断战争的喧嚣。你有什么方法禁止我的心跳？最好是让这口里塞满了沙泥，如其他只会唱着个人的休戚。最好是让这头颅给田鼠掘洞。
Minecraft also has wider borders. These four walls not only separate the hustle and bustle of constant war. Is there any way you can stop my heartbeat? It would be best to fill this mouth with sand and mud. Like others who only sing about personal condolences. It would be better if the head were used to dig burrows for field mice.
让这一团血肉也去喂着尸虫。如果只是为了一杯酒、一本诗，静夜里钟摆摇来的一片闲适，就听不见了你们四邻的呻吟，看不见寡妇孤儿抖颤的身影。战壕里的痉挛，疯人咬着病榻。
Let this mass of flesh and blood also feed the corpse worms. If it's just for a glass of wine and a book of poetry. The pendulum swings in the quiet night to feel leisurely. I can't hear the moans of your neighbors. The trembling figures of widows and orphans are not visible. The convulsions in the trenches, the madman biting the sickbed.
和各种惨剧在生活的沫子下。幸福，我如今不能受你的私会。我的世界不在这尺方的墙内。听，又是一阵炮声，死神在咆哮。敬业，你如何能禁止我的心跳？一个观念，你隽永的神秘。
And all kinds of tragedies under the grinding mill of life. Happiness. I can't accept your private bribes now. My world is not within these 1-foot square walls. Listen. There was another burst of gunfire, and the god of death roared. Quiet night. How can you stop my heartbeat? An idea. Your everlasting mystery.
你美丽的华，你倔强的质问，你一道金光，一点亲密的意义，一股火，一缕缥缈的呼声。你是什么？我不疑，这姻缘一点也不假。我知道海洋不骗它的浪花。既然是节奏，就不该抱怨歌。啊
Your beautiful lie. You stubbornly questioned, you flashed a golden light. A little sense of intimacy, a burst of fire. A vague voice, what are you? I have no doubt, this cause and effect is not false at all. I know the ocean doesn't lie to his waves. Since it's the rhythm, we shouldn't complain about the song. Ah.
横暴的威灵，你降服了我，你降服了我，你炫漫的长虹，5000多年的记忆，你不要动。如今我只问怎么抱得紧你。你是那样的横蛮，那样的美丽。发现，我来了，我喊一声，蹦着血泪。
Violent spirit, you subdued me. You surrendered me. Your gorgeous rainbow. Don't touch the memories of more than 5,000 years. Now I just ask how to hold you tightly. You are so arrogant and beautiful. Discover. I'm here, I shouted, bursting with blood and tears.
这不是我的中华，不对，不对。我来了，因为我听见你叫我。编着时间的钢锋，擎一把火。我来了，不知道是一场空戏。我会见的是噩梦，那里是你。那是恐怖，是噩梦挂着悬崖。那不是你。
This is not my China, no, no. That I came because I heard you calling me, flashing the strong wind of time, holding a fire. That I came, I didn't know it was an empty joy. What I met was nightmare. Where is you? That is horror, it is a nightmare hanging on a cliff.
那不是我的心爱。我追问青天，逼迫八面的风。我问拳头勒着大地的赤胸，总问不出消息。我哭着叫你，呕出一颗心来，在我心里。罪过。老头和担子摔一跤，满地是白蟹红樱桃。
That's not my favorite. I asked the blue sky, forcing the wind from all sides. I asked, beating the earth's naked chest with his fist. I can't get any news, I cry and call you. Vomit out a heart, in my heart. Sin. The old man struggled with his burden. The ground is covered with white apricots and red cherries.
老头爬起来直哆嗦。我知道我今日的罪过。手破了，老头你瞧瞧。哎，都给压碎了，好樱桃。老头你别是病了吧？你怎么直愣着不说话？我知道我今日的罪过。一早起我儿子直催我。
The old man got up and shivered. I know my sin today. My hand is broken, old man, look at it. Oh. They're all crushed, what a cherry. Old man, are you sick? Why are you so silent and silent? I know my sin today, that my son has been urging me since I got up early in the morning.
我儿子躺在床上发狠，他骂我怎么还不出城。我知道今日个不早了，没有想到一下子睡着了，这叫我怎么办怎么办？回头一家人怎么吃饭？老头拾起来又掉了，满地是白杏红樱桃。太阳饮。
My son was lying on the bed, trembling. He scolded me for not leaving the city. I knew it was getting late today, that I didn't expect to fall asleep all of a sudden. What should I do? How will the family eat later? The old man picked it up and dropped it again. The ground is covered with white apricots and red cherries. The sun chants.
太阳啊，刺得我心痛的太阳。又逼走了游子底，一出还乡梦。又加他12个时辰底，九曲回肠。太阳啊，火一样烧着的太阳，烘干了小草间头底露水，可烘得甘油子底冷泪盈眶。太阳啊
The sun that hurts my heart, and forced away the wanderer's dream of returning home. Plus he has 12 hours of nine-winded Ilium. The sun that burns like fire. The dried grass is dewy at the tip and bottom. Can it dry up the wanderer's eyes to the point of tears? The sun.
六龙参驾的太阳，省得我受这一天天敌缓刑，就把5年当一天跑完，那又何妨？太阳啊，神速的金乌，太阳，让我骑着你每日绕行地球1周，也便能天天望见一次家乡。太阳啊
The sun driven by 6 dragons. Save me from having to endure this whole day of reprieve. So why not just run through 5 years in one day? Oh sun, the speedy golden crow, the sun. Let me ride you around the earth once a day. You can also see your hometown once a day. The sun. 楼角新生的太阳，不是刚从我们东方来的吗？
我的家乡此刻可都依然无恙。太阳啊，我家乡来的太阳！北京城里底官刘裹上一身秋了罢，哎，我也憔悴的同深秋一样。太阳啊！
The new sun rises at the corner of the building. Didn't he just come from our east? Is my hometown still safe at this moment? The sun from my hometown. Isn't it time that the lower-level officials in Beijing are wrapped in autumn? Well, I am as haggard as late autumn. The sun.
奔波不息的太阳，你也好像无家可归似的呢。啊，你我的身世一样的不堪设想。太阳啊，自强不息的太阳，大宇宙许就是你的家乡吧？可能只是我抵家乡抵方向。太阳啊，这不像我的山川。
The ever-running sun. You seem homeless too. Ah. Your life experience and mine are equally unimaginable. Oh, the sun that never ceases to improve itself. Maybe the universe is your hometown. Could you point me in the direction of my hometown? Sun, this is not like my mountains and rivers.
太阳，这里的风云另带一般颜色，这里鸟唱的调子格外凄凉。太阳啊，生命之火抵太阳，但是谁不知你是求东半底晴热，同时又是求西半底至光。太阳啊，也是我家乡抵太阳。
Sun. The situation here has a different color. The tunes the birds sing here are particularly sad. Oh sun, the son of the fire of life. But who doesn't know that you are the most passionate person in the eastern half of the world? At the same time, he is Zhiguang, the bottom half of the ball. The sun is also the sun in my hometown.
此刻我回不了我往日的家乡，便认你为家乡也还得失相长。太阳啊，慈光普照的太阳，往后我看见你时，就当回家一次。我的家乡不在地下，乃在天上。红豆共42首。1. 红豆式的相思啊。
Now I can't go back to my old hometown. Even if I regard you as my hometown, I will pay for myself. O sun, merciful sun that shines all over. When I see you in the future, I will treat you as if I am going home for once. My hometown is not underground but in heaven. Red beans, 42 songs in total. 1. I feel lovesick like red beans.
一粒粒的坠进生命底瓷坛里了，听它跳击的音声，这般凄楚，这般亲切。2. 相思着了火，有泪雨洒着，还烧得好一点。最难尽的是突如其来，赶不及哭的干相思。3. 亦是在时间底路上旅行。
Grain by grain. Falling into the magnetic altar of life. Listen to his jumping bottom voice. So miserable. So clear. 2. Lovesickness is on fire. There are tears falling. It burned a little better. The most difficult thing to ban is. It was sudden. I can't wait to cry because of my lovesickness. 3. Consciousness travels on the bottom road of time, dash.
每逢插起一杆红旗之处，那便是相思设下的关卡，挡住行人，勒索陆捐的。4. 袅袅的转烟啊，是鼓励的文章，但写相思底诗句。5. 比方有一泻月光，偷来匍匐在你枕上，刺着你的倦眼。
Every time a red flag is planted. That is. The level set by acacia. Block pedestrians. Extorting road donations. 4. The curling seal smoke. It's Gouli's article. A poem that understates lovesickness. 5. For example, there is a fragment of moonlight. I stole it and crawled on your pillow, stinging your tired eyes.
聊得你阵夜不睡，你讨厌他不？那么这样便是相思了。6. 相思是不作声的蚊子，偷偷地咬了一口，陡然痛了一下，以后便是一阵底凄痒。7. 我的心是个没设防的空城。
It makes you stay up all night. Do you hate him? Then this is lovesickness. 6. Lovesickness is like a silent mosquito, taking a sneaky bite. There was a sudden pain. After that, there was a burst of itching. 7. My heart is an undefended empty city.
半夜里忽被相思袭击了，我的心经只是一片稻浆，我只盼望他自行屠烧一回就去了，谁知他竟永远占据着，建设起宫墙来了呢。8. 有两样东西，我总想撇开，却又总舍不得，我的生命。
I was suddenly attacked by lovesickness in the middle of the night. My heart is shining. Just a fall. I only hope. He slaughtered and burned them without mercy and then left. Who knew he would occupy it forever? Has the palace wall been built? 8. There are two things, I always want to put aside, but still reluctant to part with it. My life.
同为了爱人的相思，就爱人啊，将我做经线，你做纬线，命运织就了我们的婚姻之锦。但是一针回文锦哦，横看是相思，直看是相思，顺看是相思，倒看是相思，斜看正看都是相思。
For the love of my lover. 9. Love. Make me a warp. You make the weft. Destiny has woven the tapestry of our marriage. But a frame of Hui Wen Jin. Looking horizontally, it means lovesickness. Looking straight at it is lovesickness. Shun Kan is lovesickness. I think it's lovesickness. Looking sideways and looking straight, I feel lovesickness.
怎样看也看不出团栾二字，是，我俩是一体了。我们的结合，至少也和地球一般圆满。但你是东半球，我是西半球，我们又自己放着眼泪，做成了这苍茫的太平洋，隔断了我们自己。11.
No matter how hard you look, you can't make out the word Tuan Wan. 10. We are one. Our union. At least it is as perfect as the earth. But you are from the eastern hemisphere. I am from the western hemisphere. We shed tears again. Made this vast Pacific Ocean. Cut off ourselves. 11.
相思枕上的长夜，怎样的艳艳难尽啊！但这才是岁岁年年中之一夜，大海里的一个波涛。爱人啊，叫我又怎样求过这世间之海？过，那么这条时间的长河，则只能是一夜一夜的煎熬。12.
The long night on the lovesick pillow. What an overwhelming boredom. But this is just one night in every year. A wave in the ocean. Love. How can I swim through the sea of time? If you pass, then this long river of time can only be tortured night by night. 12.
我们有一天相见接吻时，若是我没小心，掉出一滴苦泪，刺痛了你的粉颊，你可不要惊讶，那里有多少年底生了锈的情热底成分啊！13. 我到底是个男子。我们将来见面时
We have one day. When they meet and kiss. If I wasn't careful. A drop of bitter tears fell. The stain hurts your pink cheeks. Don't be surprised. How many end of years are there? The rusty erotic ingredients. 13. I am a man after all. When we meet in the future.
我能对你哭完了，马上又对你笑，你却不必如此。你可以仰面望着我，像一朵湿蔷薇，在季后的斜阳里，慢慢晒干你的眼泪。14. 我把这些诗寄给你了，这些字你若不全认识，那也不要紧。
I can finish crying to you. Immediately smile at you again. You don't have to. You can look up at me. Like a wet rose. In the setting sun behind G. Dry your tears slowly. 14. I sent these poems to you. If you don't know all these words. That doesn't matter.
你可以用手指轻轻磨着它们，像医生按着病人的脉。你许可以试出，它们紧张地跳着，同你心跳的节奏一般。15. 古怪的爱人啊，我梦时看见的你，是背面的。16. 在雪暗风焦的严冬里。
You can use your fingers dash. Rub them gently. Like a doctor feeling the patient's pulse. You can try out. They jumped nervously, dash. The same rhythm as your heartbeat. 15. Weird lover. I saw you in my dream. It's on the back. 16. In the snowy and windy winter.
忽然出了一颗红日，在心灰意冷的情绪里，忽然起了一阵相思，这都是我没料定的。17. 讨食债的债主果然回来了，我先不防，清了我的家资还着，到底实在还不清了。
Suddenly a red sun appeared. In a disheartened mood. Suddenly I felt lovesick. I didn't expect this. 17. The creditor who collects poetry debt. Sure enough, he's back. I might as well. I still have to pay for all the money I spent on my family. I really don't know yet.
再剜出我的心头肉，同心一起付给他爸。18. 我昼夜唱着相思底歌，他们说我唱的形容憔悴了，我将浪费了我的生命。相思啊，我送了你吗？我是吐尽冥思的词儿，死是我的休息。
Then carve out the flesh of my heart. Let's pay him together. 18. I sing lovesickness songs day and night. They said I was so haggard when I sang. I will have wasted my life. Lovesickness. Did I praise you? I am a silkworm that spins all the silk. Death is my rest.
我阻了你吗？我是吐出毒箭底风儿，死是我的刑罚。19. 我是只惊弓的断雁，我的嘴要叫着你，又要衔着芦苇，保障着我的生命。我真狼狈哦。20. 扑不灭的相思，莫非是生命之源上敌也烧？
Did I curse you? I am the bee at the bottom of the poisonous sword. Death is my punishment. 19. I am a frightened goose. My mouth calls you. And he will carry a reed in his mouth. Protect my life. I'm so embarrassed. 20. Inextinguishable lovesickness. Could it be a wildfire on the plain of life?
株株小草底绿意，都要被它烧焦了呀。21. 深夜若是一口池塘，这飘在他的带衣上的淡白的小菱花，便是相思的花了。哦，它结成青的、血青的、有尖角的果子了。
The grass is green at the bottom. They are all going to be burned by him. February 1st. If it were a pond late at night. This floating on his ripples. Pale white water chestnut flowers. It's the flower of lovesickness. Oh. He was green, blood green. There is a fruit with sharp corners. 2-2.
我们的春又回来了。我搜进我的诗句，忙写着红纸的宜春帖。我也不妨就便写章，百无禁忌。从此我若诗错处了忌讳，我们都不必介意罢。2-3，我们是两片浮萍，从我们聚散底素律。
Our spring is back again. I searched all my poems. Busy writing each one post on red paper. I might as well just write a piece. Nothing is forbidden. From now on, if I make a mistake and touch a taboo, we don't have to mind. 2 or 3. We are 2 pieces of duckweed. From our gathering and dispersing speed.
同距离敌远度，可以看出风底缓急，浪儿底大小。2-4，我们是鞭丝抽拢的伙伴，我们是鞭丝抽散的离侣。万能的鞭丝啊，叫我们赞颂吗？还是诅咒呢？2-5，我们弱者是鱼肉。
The same distance as the bottom distance. You can see Fonger's urgency. Langer bottom size. 24. We are partners in whipping together. We are separated lovers. The all-purpose whipped silk. Do you want us to praise you? Or a curse? 25. We weak ones are like fish.
我们曾被囚服者，重看了盛在边斗里，共在礼教底龛前，我们多么荣耀啊！26，你明白了吗？我们是照着客们吃喜酒的，一对红蜡烛，我们站在桌子底，两斜对角上，悄悄地烧着我们的生命。
We have been blessed by. Rewatched, served in beans. Offer it in front of the etiquette niche. How glorious we are. 26. Do you understand? We had the wedding banquet according to the guests. A pair of red candles. We stood under the table. On 2 diagonally opposite corners. Quietly burning our lives.
给他们凑热闹，他们吃完了，我们的生命也烧尽了。27，若是我的话讲得太多，讲到末尾，便胡讲一阵了，请你只当我灶上的烟信，口里虽薄薄地吐着黑灰，心里依旧是红热的。28，
Join in the fun for them. They finished eating. Our lives are also burned up. 27. If it were me. Talking too much. At the end of the story. I just talked nonsense for a while. Please just be the chimney on my stove. Although the mouth was spitting out black ash vigorously. My heart is still red and hot. 28.
这算他圆满第3绝罢。鞭子，泪珠，我们的婚姻。29，这一滴红泪，不是别后的清愁，却是剧前的严痛。30，他们削破了我的皮肉，冒着显将衣的劲儿，强蛮地插在我的经上。
These are his 3 absolute perfections. Lotus seeds. Teardrops. Our marriage. 29. This drop of red tear. It's not the sorrow after farewell. But it is the pain before gathering. 30. They cut my flesh, taking risks to capture ye's branches, brutally inserted into my stem.
如今我虽带着影肿的疤痕，却开出从来没有开过的花了。他们是怎样狠心的聪明啊！但每回我瞟出看花的人们，上下抛着眼珠，打量着我的茎儿时，我的脸上就红了。3亿，哦，脑子啊！
Even though I have scars from galls now. But flowers bloomed that had never bloomed before. How cruel and clever they are. But every time I glance out at the people looking at the flowers, rolling your eyes up and down, while looking at my stem, my face turned red. Trinity. Oh, brain.
刻着虫鼠鸟传的一块妖魔的石头，是我的佩刀底力士，也是我爱河里的礁石。爱人啊，这又是我俩之间的界石。32，幽冷的星儿啊，这般凌乱的一团。爱人啊，我们的命运。
Engraved with Chong Shu Niao seal. A demonic stone. It is the sharpening stone for my sword. I also love the rocks in the river. My love. This is another boundary stone between us. 3-2. The cold star. Such a mess. My love. Our destiny.
都摆布在这里了。33，冬天底长夜，好不容易等到天明了，还是一块冷冰冰的、铅灰色的天宇，那里看得见太阳呢？爱人啊，哭吧，哭吧，这便是我们的将来哟。34，我是狂怒的海神。
It's all at your mercy here. 3-3. The long night at the end of winter. Finally waited until dawn. It's still a cold piece of ice. The leaden sky. Where can I see the sun? Love. Cry. Cry. This is our future. 3 or 4. I am the furious sea god.
你是被我捕着的一叶轻舟，我的情潮一起一落之间，我笑着看你颠簸，我的千百个涛头，用白晃晃的锯齿咬你，把你咬碎了，便和强带舵吞了下去。35，夜莺嚎跳地叫着，北风拍着门环。
You are a small boat caught by me. My love surges up and down. I smile and watch you bump. My thousands of heads. Bite you with its gleaming white teeth. Bite you to pieces. Then he swallowed it with the chong belt and the rudder. 3-5. The nighthawk screams. The north wind slaps the door knocker.
撕着窗纸，撞着墙壁，掀着屋瓦，非闯进来不可。红烛止不息地淌着血泪，凝成大堆赤色的石钟乳。爱人啊，你在那里？快来剪去那乌云似的烛花，快握着你的素手，遮护着这抖颤的烛焰。
Tear off the window paper. Hitting the wall. Lifting the roof tiles. You have to break in. The red candle just kept weeping blood and tears, condensed into a large pile of red stalactites. Love. You there? Come and cut off those dark cloud-like candle flowers. Hurry up and hold your bare hands. Protect this trembling candle flame.
爱人啊，你在那里？36，当我告诉你们，我曾在玉箫崖板，一派悠扬的戏乐里，亲手掀起了衣的红盖帕。我曾着着银烛，一臂携着衣的凤钗，一臂在衣耳边问道：“认得我吗，朋友们？”
Love. You there? 36. When I tell you. I was in Xiaoyaban. In the melodious music. Lifting Yi's red cover with my own hands. I once wore a silver candle. Yi's phoenix hairpin is captured on the side. Eb asked in Yi's ear. Do you recognize me? Friends.
当你们听我讲这些故事时，我又在你们的笑容里认出了你们私心的艳羡。37，这比我的新人，谁个温柔？从炉面镂空的双喜字间，吐出了一线蜿蜒的香篆。38，你午睡醒来。
When you listen to me tell these stories, dash. I am in your smile again. I recognize your selfish envy. 37. This is better than my new guy. Who is gentle? From the double happiness words hollowed out on the stove surface. Spit out a winding line of fragrant seal. 38. You wake up from your nap.
脸上印着红凹的电纹，怕是链子锁着的。梦魂儿罢，我吻着你的香腮，便吻着你的梦儿了。这可能也是闻一多蜜月生涯中最值得回忆的情景吧。39，我若替一画像，我不许一点人工产物。
There are red and concave lines on the face. I'm afraid it's chained. Menghunter, I kiss your cheek. Then I kissed your dream. This may also be the most memorable scene in Yiduo's career. 39. If I paint Yi's portrait, I don't allow any artifacts.
污秽了一的玉体，我并不是用画家肉眼，在一套曲线里看一的美，但我要描出我常梦着的一个通灵彻洁的裸体的天使，所以为免除误会起见，我还要叫这两肩上。
Defiled Yi's jade body. I am not using a painter's naked eye. See the beauty of in a set of curves. But I want to describe the girl I often dream about. A psychic, pure, naked angel. So to avoid any misunderstanding, I also want to call Liangshang.
生出一双翅膀来，若有人还不明白，便把错认作一只彩凤，那倒没什么不可。40，假如黄昏时分，忽来了一阵雷电交加的风暴，不须怕的呀，爱人，我将紧拉着你的手，到窗口并肩坐下。
Give birth to a pair of wings. If anyone doesn't understand yet, then he mistook for a colorful phoenix. That's okay. 40. If at dusk, suddenly there was a storm with thunder and lightning. Don't be afraid, my love. I will hold your hand tightly. Go to the window and sit side by side.
我们一句话也不要讲，我们只凝视着我们自己的爱丽，在天边碰着，碰出金剑似的光芒，炫瞎我们自己的眼睛。41，有酸的，有甜的，有苦的，有辣的，豆子都是红色的，味道却不同了。
Let's not say a word. We just stared at Dash. Our own love. Meeting on the horizon. It struck like a golden arrow of light. Blind our own eyes. April 1st. Some are sour, some are sweet, some are bitter, and some are spicy. The beans are all red. The taste is different.
辣的先让李教尝尝，苦的我们分着囫囵的吞下，酸的像梅子一般，不妨细嚼着直指我们的渴。甜的呢？啊，甜的红豆都分送给邻家做种子吧。42，我唱过了各样的歌儿，单忘记了你。
Let Li Jiao taste the spicy ones first. It was painful and we swallowed it whole. It's as sour as a plum. Might as well chew it carefully to quench our thirst. It's sweet. Ah! Give all the sweet red beans to your neighbors to make seeds. 42. I have sung all kinds of songs. I just forgot about you.
但我的歌该当越唱越新越美。这些最后唱的最美的歌，一字一颗明珠，一字一颗热泪。我的皇后啊，这些算了我赎罪抵非遗，这些我跪着捧献给你。
But my songs should become newer and more beautiful as I sing them. These are the most beautiful songs sung at the end. One word, one pearl. One word, one tear. My queen. Forget it, I will atone for my sins. I kneel down.